Moving on now to punishment for not doing your job new. Tax Commissioner and Tim Burton Batman pretending to be just a regular man, Chris Jordan, is facing a Senate investigation. Jordan is facing this investigation by the Senate Privileges Committee, with Labor, the Greens, and the Crossbench banding together in a bid to force him to reveal details about the Jobkeeper wage subsidy scheme. And he is facing the reality of being a public figure when the public starts to learn your name after you did something real bad. The Senate ordered Jordan to reveal the names of businesses with a turnover of $10 million that receive taxpayer funds, but he has refused, citing privacy provisions. Privacy provisions? Oh, my friend, the sub-judice period is over once we know for sure that they did something. They don't get to steal from the taxpayers and not face the false anger of saying that we will boycott them until we are desperate at Christmas time and have no time to order presents. So we tell ourselves that it's just this one time, but next year, we will definitely boycott them. Oh, outrageous. Independent Senator, and uncle you need to listen to carefully before agreeing with him, Rex Patrick, has been one of the most vocal in demanding greater transparency in the scheme, citing the approach of the New Zealand government in publishing a list of employees who receive support under a similar program, failing to realise that this is not how you convince an Australian to do anything, by comparing them to a New Zealander, coming in and being like, well, New Zealand's doing it. That's not going to work. After all, we don't do things just because other countries are doing them, not when it comes to dangerous policies like climate change and economic accountability of businesses. No. We only do things because everyone else is doing them when they are a safe and admirable policy like, say, a war. That has been our clear policy for years now. Patrick's motion to refer the Commissioner for investigation succeeded, 25 votes to 21. And then Patrick said, it is a lawful order, and just as he might be given any order to carry out something in accordance with the police direction or a court direction, the same applies for the Senate. I mean, I don't know if you've been following the news recently, Patrick, but the police aren't really considered the model for civil responsibility that they once were. I would just be careful when making comparisons. But then word started getting around that this Chris Jordan could be jailed for refusing to release the information, as apparently the information was not in the public interest. Whew. My friend, I can tell you, my very funny joker friend, I'm interested. And the volume of news articles around this very matter tells me that there's more than a little public interest on the matter. So make with the paper, chop chop. Although it shouldn't surprise listeners of this podcast that Labor, the Greens, and the Crossbench joined forces in support of greater transparency, like a Voltron of common sense. And coalition senators voting against Patrick's motion, well, that's not like them at all. Using a public service to secretly siphon off public money into the hands of businesses that don't deserve it, and then failing to face consequences. I don't know where this behaviour is coming from. They've never acted out like this before. It's really weird, and it's just so very out of character. In a statement, Jordan said that he acknowledged the Senate's powers, the same way that I acknowledge that PSO have powers. Sure, I know that they have them, but I don't plan on listening to them anytime soon. Saying, one of my fundamental roles as Commissioner of Taxation is to safeguard the integrity of the tax and super systems by ensuring the community's confidence in taxpayer secrecy is maintained. Hey Chris, buddy, you know what would really help me, help people have confidence in the tax system? Just a little suggestion. Using it to prosecute more than just the poorest members of society. That'd probably really help us with our confidence. The inquiry will give the Commissioner an opportunity to comply with the Senate order and Patrick said that Jordan was unlikely to face jail time. Oh, excellent. Yeah, great. That's really going to scare him. Scare him right down to his core. An opportunity, and he won't face. He's unlikely to face jail time. Or shaking him up boots. And ATO employees wonder why we hate them. It's not the taxes. The taxes do all the good things, like Medicare and keeping government friends in contracts. Those things are fine. It's the audacity of calling someone who has just lost a job that they need in order to lock in a payment plan for tax that they owe, or else you'll charge them interest. You are more contrarian than a 40-year-old Jordan Peterson fan. I think you'll find that if you just clean your room, you'll see the wage gap doesn't exist and that the money was hidden under your dirty clothes all along. This is why you need to keep an eye out for the centrists. They're all fire and brimstone until it comes to following through with the punishment. Then suddenly, they don't want to hurt anybody. That way they can appease their indecisive base who believes in the power of justice to make people feel bad, but actually punishing them. Whoa, that's a little bit extreme, buddy. Let's not go too far. The inquiry will report back to the Senate and make some recommendations, and then the full Senate will determine the next course of action. Patrick said by not including a clawback method in the scheme, the Treasurer had made a massive prudential failure, which strongly implies that he thinks this was designed to fairly distribute money on an as-needs basis, and that it wasn't designed to send $13 billion of taxpayer money from the taxpayer's wallet to the wallets of investors and executives. And he won't commit to revealing the names of the companies, even though nearly 1 in 3 Jobkeeper applicants weren't eligible for taxpayer support, according to the ATO's own analysis. I mean, come on. Josh Frydenberg was warned less than 3 months into Jobkeeper that millions were going to firms with rising turnovers, in some cases recording bumper profits. Frydenberg knew in mid-June last year that 15% of Jobkeeper businesses sampled had boosted their turnovers in April and would only change the eligibility criteria in late September. Between July and September, at least $10 billion went to firms that increased turnovers. $10 billion! And that is why they call themselves the Party of Good Economic Management. They manage the economy, like Jeff Bezos manages Amazon. They make money disappear legally.